otherwise.
No, I've mastered it since you've been gone.
Since you've been gone.
Mm-hmm.
You have an ace there?
The fly just there.
Flies back?
Yeah.
Or is it?
I told you.
We had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young. We were broke. We didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome to episode 38 of Win Anyway.
Yes, 38.
You know, we are fired up. That means we've done this 38 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ain't that something? So, episode 38, if you're with us, you either just got here or you're not bored yet. And so we appreciate your support.
Either way, yeah, we're happy you're here.
Either way. Thank you for all your reviews. Thank you for all the comments, reshares, reposts. It's pretty cool to see you guys just watching and learning. We love doing this. We love to see you win. We hope you get a lot of value out of it. And it's just cool to be a part of your journey and you to be a part of our journey as we work our way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So today's episode is for those of you that are brand new and you just got here, or it's for those of you that have teammates that are brand new and they just got here, or it's for those of you that are brand new and you plan to have teammates that are brand new, or you're not brand new and you plan on someday recruiting and having someone who's brand new.
Or you've been here for a while and you need to act like you're brand new.
Yes.
Also important.
Or, I'm just kidding.
So basically, in summary, it's if you're breathing and you have a pulse, this is for you.
Yeah, these are things that I think you can do over and over again.
Yes.
In fact, I think the business in any industry is about mastering the system and then doing it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's constantly starting over, having a childlike enthusiasm. So 5 things to do and focus on when you're brand new.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's start off with number 1.
We should start with number 2.
Okay.
Number 2.
Number 1.
I'm just kidding. Number 1. Oh, the fly's back. It's right there. It's on your volume knob.
So
Always be prepared. Get it.
hold, please.
Oh! Yeah. Well done. Wait. Show the audience. Where'd it go?
It's right there. Oh, its legs are so...
Now, for those of you saying that that's not vegan, it was really a trick. The fly was already dead. But we appreciate its effort. It's kind of like a teammate that quits. There once was a fly.
So this is the weirdest intro we've had to date.
But we made a rule that we will never start over.
So here we are. So if you're still with us.
And if you're wondering whether or not we would ever start over. Oh, it's still alive.
Oh, literally, this is, wow.
That's like me in the business.
You just never give
going
up.
away. Never giving up.
All right.
But anyways, number 1 out of the 5 things to focus on when you're brand new. By the way, there could be 1,000 of them. There could be 1,000. But we're just going to go with 5 fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Number 1.
Number 1, learning the words of the business.
The words of the business. So every industry has the words of the industry. If you're in the music business, there's a lingo of the music business. Mm-hmm. If you're in the healthcare industry, there's a lingo of that. If you play professional sports, there's a lingo of that. In finance, in entrepreneurship, in everything that we do, every industry has its language. Now, if you're starting in our industry, which is leadership development and finance, you got to learn the words. How do you do that?
There's a lot of ways that you can do that. But I think the number 1 most powerful way to learn the words of the business is to attend as many trainings as possible. So I know most offices have at least 2 trainings a week, right? Usually one in the evening, one in like on a Saturday morning or something like that. But now with everything that's going on, I know a lot of offices are having trainings even more frequently. And so whether or not you're part-time or full-time, if you're full-time, you definitely, when you're brand new, I would say go on your calendar on your phone and block out those times from now until forever.
Right.
But if you're part-time, go through the calendar and go, okay, I work during these times, but these are the trainings I know for sure I can make every single week. And make a commitment to yourself and to your trainer that those are the trainings that you're going to be on. And have them hold you accountable. Say, all right, these are the trainings I'm going to commit to. If I'm not on, feel free to, call me, send me a text message and remind me that I made this commitment. Because if we're just being honest, guys, this is usually if you're starting in business, it's a totally different industry than the one that you're coming from. So the faster you learn, the faster you're going to see results, the faster you're going to be happy with your progress. And the only way to do that is to get training. And this is one of the ways that you can do that and learn as fast as possible. So every training that you miss kind of resets the clock for you. It sets you back. You might just feel like, okay, I didn't make progress today, but actually sets you back a little bit. So make sure that you commit to being on trainings.
Yeah. I've never missed a training in 9 years. Even before we had our own, I never missed one. I never missed our office meetings just because I was trying to get there fast. Like if you're brand new, you could get there or you could get there fast. For me, only God knows how long it's going to take you to hit your goals and whatever your goals are. But I could just promise you that if you're trying to master this, it doesn't make sense to, you get to work at your speed, but just hurry the heck up.
Yeah.
Hurry up. And for me, I don't miss meetings because we're a meeting business. That's what we are. We're in a meeting business. We make money on meetings. We build on meetings. We learn on meetings. We have fun at meetings. We're a meeting business. That's our business. If you're in the fitness industry, you don't miss your workouts. Mm-hmm. If you're in the music industry, you don't miss your recording sessions. Everything has its thing. For us, it's meetings. So that's a big one. And then it's the scripts. We have scripts. Now, people look down on scripts. And people outside of our industry look down on scripts. People in our industry are afraid to use scripts because they feel like they're using a script and it's looked down on. Mm-hmm. But the scripts are just the words of the business. It's to simplify it so you don't screw it up. And everything has a script. Everything. I'll give you an example. At church, someone comes up to pray for the offering.
Right.
And different people pray for the offering. And I could already tell you what they're going to say when they pray for the offering because it's the same prayer every time. Now, I'm not saying it's not genuine. I'm not saying it's not meant. But it becomes a script, When people pray for the food, we even have scripted prayers. In fact, there's even prayers that you learn in church, in Sunday school, in catechism, in wherever you go, that are scripted. Everything's scripted. The person answering you at the drive-through window, is scripted. In fact, at most drive-throughs now, they play a little recording, and it's like some happy lady. Hi, welcome. Would you like to try? No, thank you.
And then it's a
Hi,
guy.
welcome to Jack in the Box. What can I get for you? I'm like, whoa, what happened? Everything is scripted. Why do people hate scripts?
Look, you are scripted. I know you're the person who's saying, I hate scripts. I just want to sound genuine. You are scripted. From the time you were a child, your mom went with you places around her friends and said, go say hi to Miss So-and-so. And you went up and you said, hi, Miss So-and-so. Ask her how she is. How are you? Say thank you. You're scripted. Yeah. You've been learning scripts your whole entire life. I bet you when you go to that drive-thru that he was talking about, you've already thought about how you're going to ask for what you want.
Right.
You're like, yes, can I? Through the whole line, you were like, all right, I want, 4 tacos, whatever you end up ordering. So you're scripted. The reason why people say that they don't feel genuine saying the scripts is because you haven't yet insert your belief into the script yet.
Yep, and that's why if you want to have fun, just to prove that everyone's scripted, the next time someone goes, hey, how are you? Go, freaking terrible. Mm-hmm. Wait, what? Because you said something out of the script. You're supposed to go, oh, I'm good. How are you? No matter how terrible you are. So when someone goes, how's your day? Freaking shitty. Absolutely shitty.
Yeah.
But in fact, the worst day I've had all year. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's like, but the whole damn world is scripted. So here's the thing. People go, well, I don't want to use a script. But you know that the best actors in Hollywood have made hundreds of millions of dollars memorizing a script. Memorizing a script. And when they're in the movie, you don't know they're reading the script because they've owned the script. They put their belief into the script, just like Ronnie just said. So if you want to learn the basics of the business, learn the freaking words of the business. Don't grab the script and like try to memorize it, and then you're about to make a phone call and you put it down. And then you're like, dang it. Like, you don't get extra credit for having it memorized and not reading it. Mm-hmm. It's a script. Memorize it. But if you don't memorize it, read it and use it. And you will make millions of dollars by the script. Not because the script is disingenuous, but because the script gives you a point A and a point B and a destination. And it's the easiest, fastest way to get there with the least amount of rejection because it's put together with psychology in mind to help you succeed and to help you be able to help a client.
Yeah, it just keeps you on track, like you said. It just keeps you on pace. And for you to feel more comfortable with it, all you have to do is like what he said, learn it, memorize it, practice it. And then when you're going through it, insert your own personal belief behind it. So for example, if you're calling somebody asking for their help, spend a couple of minutes before you start making these phone calls and think about why you really want their help. And it'll feel more genuine to you. Go, you know what? I really actually do need their help because I'm in an industry that I'm not familiar with. I need to get some training in, and who better than to do training with than my friends and family who will be a little easier on me, who won't judge me, who love me, who support me, who want to cheer me on. And so, I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable and ask for help. I'm going to use this script, but just so that way, if I'm getting nervous, I'm not going to go off on a tangent or ramble or stutter over my words. Like, this is actually going to help me, and use it as a tool.
It's awesome. That's the words of the business.
Yeah,
and then just being around it.
Yeah, just change the way that you're looking at it. Stop resisting it and start, looking for examples around you on how they benefit people, because it will definitely benefit you.
And you'll learn the words just by being in the environment.
Yes.
Being in the meetings, paying attention, going on appointments, listening, shadowing. You have to be around here long enough to learn what you're talking about.
Yes.
And the fastest way to do that is just to like, if I want to learn Spanish, you drop me off in the middle of Mexico and leave me there for 2 months. I will learn Spanish. If I want to learn how to speak some dialect of Chinese, you drop me off in the middle of China, I will learn the language because I have to. So you have to immerse yourself in the industry and into the game, and you'll learn the words of the business.
Yes.
Number 2, if you're brand new, thing to focus on is to master the products. Mm-hmm. Master the products, the basic fundamentals of what we do.
Now, there's so many, right? Because, every day I think the industry is coming out with a new financial product. So where would you say to start off at before you fall in the rabbit hole and never returning of the product knowledge trap?
Well, I would tell you that the goal, at least in the beginning, should not be to become a product brochure where you know the ins and outs. And you just study this stuff for 6 years and turn it into a doctorate degree. I don't think you need to do that because you have a trainer who knows what they're doing. But you need to learn the basics of, I would say, the term, if you're in the United States, the term life insurance with living benefits, the basics of an index universal life policy, and the basics of an indexed annuity. And I think if you just started there, it's a really, really good foundation because chances are mom, dad, grandma, or grandpa will benefit from one of those 3 things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really good place to start. And if you want to know everything, that's why we have home office, and all these companies have customer service, and they have places that you could call and ask questions. They're paying someone $25 an hour to sit on the phone with you all day. And that person is a product brochure. And they can walk you through everything. But what you don't do is, at least if I'm your trainer, is come to me and expect me to spend 8.5 hours on why the cost of insurance is 0. Per thousand. Like, that's not my job. That's, the company's job.
Yeah, and you need to take personal responsibility to learn these things, because I'll tell you what, for our office this month, it's, we have our product providers training. But if you start with us in September, you just missed all that stuff.
Right.
right? So you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for it, because we're not going to keep putting the same exact trainings every single month, because that'll just make everybody just stay at the same level. So
Right.
you have to take on a certain amount of responsibility for your education in this industry, and take time that you have that's free to educate yourself and learn
Right.
and absorb the information.
And that's why you call. Call Crump.
Yeah.
Call Transamerica. Call Pack Life. Call Ivari if you're in Canada. Call and ask these questions and learn on your own. Take notes. When you have training, pay attention. Get on the software. Play with the software. Build policies and portfolios for grandma and grandpa. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Master the products. And then by going on appointments.
Yeah.
I think the fastest way you learn is by sitting on an appointment and doing it in real life.
Yeah. Real life training appointments, case studies.
Yep. This is what my client looked like before they met me. This is what they look like now.
Exactly.
Before and afters are powerful. And doing that type of stuff is powerful. But you don't get to do all that unless you go on appointments. So for those of you, I want to know everything first before I go on appointments. Well, it doesn't work that way. That's why a doctor runs what's called a doctor's practice, because they're still practicing. They're still learning. They're learning by sitting with you and diagnosing you. That's part of their practice. It's never mastered. So if you're sitting around trying to perfect everything before you go out and do that, perfection's the enemy of progress. You're not making any progress because you're trying to be perfect. You got to go on appointments. Going on appointments is where you learn. I did not learn by sitting down, studying my life insurance exam.
No. You don't
I'd probably
absorb
fail the
information that
exam
way.
if I took it today.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
Not literally, but you understand
Yeah.
my point is I could not tell you anything that was in my life insurance class 9 years later.
Yes.
I learned by going on appointments. Obviously, I had to get licensed because the state has a minimum requirement for you to work in our industry. But the learning, like when I was going to medic school, you don't learn how to push an IV in the book. You learn how to push an IV when you grab someone's arm for the first time and you go, that's what that meant. Got it. All of a sudden, it all makes sense. And so it's practice. It's practice. That's how you learn. It's practice. But mastering the products and owning them, by the way, is one of the fastest ways to master them. You own everything. I have a client who owns a company, and he said that he buys all his competition's product.
That's smart.
And he said literally, like, I won't say his industry, but he says, I call the competition, I buy their product, I go through their entire sales process, I listen to their sales pitch, I pay attention to what they funnel me to, the website, what pops up on the website. When they upsell me, recent other customers viewed who bought this, frequently bought together, like all this stuff. He's like, I go through the whole thing. I get the product. I pay attention to the packaging. I open it. I use it. I send it back. And I see what that process feels like. And I go through the whole thing. And he owns the product, because owning the product is how you learn the product. So here, if you don't own the term, you don't own an IUL, you don't own an annuity, you don't own some sort of life insurance, a mutual fund, an ETF fund, something, you're never going to learn anything. So you should own what you sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 3.
Number 3, you need to focus on learning how to handle objections and answering questions.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And by the way, most of the time, they're not objections, they're questions. People are just wanting to know more information. It's a good sign. It's a sign of interest. It's
so
a sign,
funny that we use the word objection, because like in court, they're like, I object.
Yeah, and it's
It doesn't
not
really
like
happen on
that.
appointments.
Yeah. It's not somebody asks you what you do and you're like, oh
an
no, that's an
objection.
objection. It's not an objection. People are just interested in what you do. So changing the way that you think about that is the first thing, because you looking at it as a negative is just putting you in that like defensive zone, which you don't really want to be in. We always tell our agents, like, hey, if your client calls you, don't automatically assume that it's something bad. You need to automatically assume that it's something good. Maybe they need to change their beneficiary. Maybe they have some extra money that they need to save, or they need some advice on what to do. Maybe they want a referral, right? Something.
Or their spouse is dead.
Yeah, so answer the phone.
And you did a life insurance for them.
Yes, help them out, provide a good customer service. So yeah, learning how to answer questions effectively.
Right. Also happens on appointments.
Yes.
I just sit around, all right, ask me a question. Like we're just practicing. No, dude, go out there in the world and get real questions. Get real rejection. Go get told no. Go screw it all up. Ask a question that you don't know the answer to and you lose the entire sale because of it. Mm-hmm. Like that's how you learn. You can never learn sitting at home, locked in your room, practicing with yourself. It doesn't work.
And for those of you guys who are just very afraid of making a mistake, that's why you go on appointments with the trainer, and then you sit there and your friend or your family member or maybe even a stranger that you just kind of met ask you a question, you write down the question, and when your trainer answers it, you write down how they answered the question. That way you know how to answer it next time. And eventually, in the beginning, you'll have all these questions, right, that people have asked, like all these questions. And eventually, you won't be writing them down anymore because you will already know the answers to the most commonly asked questions in our industry.
Right. I remember when I would get a question, and I'm like, damn. I don't know the answer to that. And then when I leave, I go, that's it. That's never going to happen to me again. I will never not know the answer to that again. Then I get the answer. Next time I get a different question. I'm like, damn it. I don't know the answer. And I went through that process 10, 15 times. But every client asks the same 4 or 5 questions. And they always think, by the way, they're the only person who's ever thought of that. Every single person. Well, what happens if the insurance company goes out of business? Well, what happens if, they get bought out? What happens if, and they all think they're the only person who's ever asked that question. But they all ask the same freaking thing every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's never anything new. Once you get through the 5 or 6 or 7 questions, you pretty much have seen them all. They're all a variety of the same thing. So go on appointments. That's how you learn.
Yeah. And trust me, if you are, because we've run into these different types of personalities, in business, the type of personality who's like, you know what, I'm not going to go on training appointments. I'm going to wait till I get licensed and then I'm going to go run appointments. That's the hardest way to do things because you are just going to feel like you got bombarded by questions that you don't know the answers to. And you're going to be wondering why your licensing course didn't prepare you for that. And that's not what the licensing course is for. The licensing course is there to teach you definitions and laws and, state guidelines, things of that nature. But it's not there to provide you with real life experience, hands-on experience. That's not what it's for.
Yeah. And by the way, we're not telling you to be a dumbass and not know what you're doing. What we're telling you is that you have a trainer for a reason.
Use your trainer.
You're practicing under someone else who's an expert.
Yes.
And that's the magic of the business, is it's a mentorship system where I'm going to teach you how to do what I do. By the way, your friends aren't going to become your client anyways. They'll only become your client because you have a trainer there. They're not going to become your client because you went and sat with them, because that's not how they look at you. Okay, next. Focus on the main stuff. Number 4. If you're brand new, 5 things to focus on. Number 1, the words. Number 2, the products. Number 3, objections, answering, questions, all that stuff. Number 4, focusing on the main stuff. What's the main stuff? What's it really like? Like if we summarized everything and made it real simple, what's the main stuff?
I would say you building a business, if that's what you're here for.
Okay.
For you building business, why did you start in business? Was it because you needed extra income? Was it because you wanted more time? Was it both? Was it to have something that's more passive down the line? Was it because you're just sick of your job, your 9 to 5? Are you just sick of having those time constraints? Why did you start? That's the bigger picture. And realizing that it's going to take some time for you to get from where you're at currently to where you want to be.
Yeah. Building a company, getting free.
Yes.
Your short-term goals, your long-term goals. Focusing on the big picture, right? Later on.
Yep.
Falling in love with progress. These are the main things. The other stuff is stuff you have to learn in order to play. If you're going to play the game, you have to know the rules to the game, which are the words, the products, the answers to the questions. But once I know that stuff, the main thing is what's my life going to look like 5 to 10 years from now? versus what would my life look like 5 to 10 years from now if I just stuck with my job? The upside potential in business is 1,000,000 times greater than the upside potential for me as a fireman 20 years later with the fire department. A 20-year journey with the fire department, a 20-year journey in WFG. Very different journey. Even if I went the first 5, 10 years in WFG struggling, year 10, there's no comparison. Year 20, there's no comparison. Right now, we're in California, and there's 6 different fires going on right now. One of them less than 2 miles from my house, up here in the hills. And if I didn't get recruited, that's where I would be. And we haven't hit 10 years yet. We're at year 9.
Yes.
So the main thing is what? The main thing is I'm investing in my future. I may start off a little underpaid, because you will in the business, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You start off
You're
overworked,
learning.
right? Overworked sometimes. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot of work for free. But so does a doctor before they get paid. So does a nurse. So does a teacher. So does a psychologist. So does almost any career. You start off overworked and underpaid, but eventually you become what? Overpaid.
And underworked.
Yeah, and some people would argue you're very underworked.
Yep. So you have to focus on those things, because the alternative to you not focusing on those is you focusing on your family canceling on you. You focusing on the little pieces of rejection, or the fact that you couldn't answer a question, or you don't understand a certain concept, or, you know, the product provider was training and you absorbed maybe 10% of what they actually said.
Or your trainer didn't answer the phone. Now you're mad.
Yeah, you're having a bad day. You need somebody to blame.
Yeah.
You know, so you need to focus on the bigger picture. And because when you're focused on that, the little day-to-day things don't matter so much.
Yeah. People get caught up in the little stuff, like, you know, like someone who lives in New York, and then they're running appointments with a trainer in California who's always late. You know, Californians were always late. They're running behind people, and they're like, hey, come on, man, we're 2 minutes already past. And like, it's just they're so stuck on what you may say is a big thing. But I'm talking 5, 10 years down the road. These things are so small, you don't remember this stuff later.
Yeah.
The stuff you remember is the wins. And then the big losses. Those are the things that you always remember. And that's the main thing. Everything else is requirement to play the game. But the main stuff is what I'm working towards, not where I'm at right now. Last one. 5 things to do when you're brand new. What's the last one?
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
For so many reasons. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but for so many reasons. And let's just talk about one that's just specific to you. It hurts your self-esteem. It hurts your self-confidence every time that you quit something.
Yep.
Because you told yourself you're going to do something, and because it got hard, you quit. And now that becomes a habit. And now anything that you want in life that requires a little bit of effort, you are in the habit of just quitting it when it gets hard.
I'm so thankful we didn't quit. And some people go, I thought about quitting every day. I could be completely honest with you. Never 1 second in my career have I thought about quitting.
Yeah, exactly.
Never. And I'm not, and you may think about quitting all the time. There's nothing wrong with that unless you do it. If you do it, something's wrong with it. If you think about it, it's not a big deal. But you can't do it though. Now, there was a lot of times when I was getting my teeth kicked in, and I thought about getting a job on the side in
Which
secret.
there's nothing wrong with that, and doesn't
I was
have
gonna
to be
do
a secret.
it. I was gonna do it at night, far away, so no one saw me and no one knew. But my point is that I never thought about quitting though, never, because I was having fun. The game's fun when you lose. Your favorite game's still fun when you lose. It may piss you off, but it's still fun when you lose. But I never thought about quitting. But here's the problem with quitting is that people quit long before they quit. They quit in their head before they ever really quit. You show up to the meeting, but you don't work. You already stopped trying. Quitting, really what we mean is giving up, which means that you stop putting forth the effort. Doesn't mean you write to WFG and terminate your code. It means that you stop putting forth effort. And why do people stop putting forth effort?
I mean, everybody has their reasons.
You get
maybe.
discouraged.
Yeah.
Your ego's too big. You're mad at your trainer.
Expectation versus reality.
Yep. The way that it's supposed to go is not how it's gone.
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be easy. And then you start putting blame. That's the problem. And then it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter why you quit. The reality is you still quit. Why you quit is irrelevant. Everybody could justify quitting at some point. Mm-hmm. And quitting's easy to do. It's easy to quit.
But you just end up in the same spot that you were before.
That's it. But then you justify, well, it's all good. Someone has it worse somewhere. Well, I'll be the one to tell you someone's got it better somewhere too.
There's nothing wrong with wanting more out of your life.
Right. So if you're brand new, then what should you do? Well, number one, learn the words of the business. What's number two? Master the scripts.
Yes.
The products. Mm-hmm. The system. All that stuff, okay? And don't freaking quit.
Just make progress every single day.
Yep.
That's the main goal.
And there's a million more things that you should do in the beginning. But these are the main ones. If I started tomorrow, this is the stuff that I would want someone to tell me. Words, the products, objections. Stay focused on the main stuff. Don't get caught up in everything else. And don't freaking quit. Make progress. Have fun. Have fun.
Yes.
Boom. All right, you guys. Hey, thanks for your support. We have a lot of fun doing this. Mm-hmm. We really do. There's a million other things we could be doing. Like right now, eating dinner. I'm starving.
I know that's exactly what's on his mind. I could tell.
Man, I'm freaking hungry. But I'm also hungry to win. And I love to see other people win too. And so when you message us on Instagram, we do our best to always respond. I get like 300 messages a day. So I know some of you I respond to like a week later. It's not on purpose. But we love to interact with you guys. We love to, especially right now, a lot of people are really hungry and we just love to be able to have a part of it. So thank you for your support as always. Thanks for all the times you get on our Instagram live. Just hang out with us, have some fun. Fall in love with the business. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you on top.
Yes.
And if you quit, we'll see you from the top.
Don't
Boom.
quit.
We're out. All right.
Bye, guys.